Hi, this is More Holistic. I come to you with a very heavy heart. I want to give my condolences to the 10 people, 11 people that lost their lives in Buffalo, New York. I'm so sorry that happened to you. And it's just terrible, very terrible, but it's not surprising because this is the place that we live in. And you're in my prayers. I've been thinking about this, of the violence, and I keep thinking about man the hunter and who's the prey. The prey is you, black people. We are the prey. We've always been the prey. And when you hear the term man the hunter, man is code word for, well, Western man is code word for people who are classified as white. Now, that is what you hear. Man, those code words would be man, human, Western, civilized. All that comes to mind. It's not talking about us in any way, form, or fashion. So what I'm just saying that we do, like I said before, we need a real revolution. We can't patch this up. There's no way we can change these people. They're not going to ever change, so you can forget it. So you have to change. This guy, what's his name? Peyton Gendron. I can't pronounce his name, but he comes from sales. There's millions of them like that. Like, did you read his manifesto? Read his manifesto. Get a copy of it and read it very carefully. I did. And where I got it from was Black Authority. Y'all should go there. It's very good. He explains it pretty much in detail, but I just wanted to add my part to it. But what they are afraid of is, as like Frances Welsing in her book, The ISIS Paper, you need to read that book. They're afraid of genetic annihilation. They have a fear because they only make up 8% of the world population. And so they know their numbers are shrinking, and they have this gene in them that they want to dominate and control everything. If they can't dominate and control, because they won't have the numbers, they will kill. They will kill everybody in sight. But they really focus in on us because we're kind of like the rallying point. We keep them organized, keep their violence organized, because our dark skin is part of nature. And nature is the unknown, and nature is something that has to be tamed and tamed and cut down and destroyed, just like us, and enslaved so that they can use it, because they've always wanted to extract something from someone. They feel like everything is for them to be taken and to be dominated and controlled over. So that's why they have such a fear of us, because we are the original people, the Aboriginal people of the planet, and of the Americas too, and of Africa. So we're part of nature, nature's part of us, and they have a thing with nature. They want to control nature, they want to take control of the animals, they want to dominate the animals, have plantations. They brought us here to do all the work. They made slaves out of animals, circuses for animals, zoos for animals. They just dominate, control, and destroy everything. So this is all connected. And like I said once before, best thing we can do, I hear a lot of people that are say are plant-based or whatever they say, from those people who are classified as white. They say they want world peace, and if we become vegan, all this is all connected race. Of course, I don't believe that, because what to me they're trying to say is, they want to have control of the world, want us all to eat vegetables, but no, that's not going to happen, because they have that in their DNA to destroy stuff. And since they have taken over the world, since enslavement, since what's his name? What's the white boy in the boat? Christopher Columbus came over here, and it's genocide the Aboriginal peoples, and we were already here. That he brought in other Africans from Africa, and enslaved us. So that's genocide and enslavement. So that equals the New World. And from what I understand, when Christopher Columbus came over here with so many fish, they came to the New World. It was just land, green, pure, virgin land. You could see the fish in the waters, but now you can't see them because of factory farming, which is based off the slave system. And their whole sorry system is based off of that slave system. Even putting people in prison camps to extract our labor for free. Okay, so when we came over here, we came from hunter-gatherer societies. So mostly the Aboriginal diet was plant-based. Of course, many had meat, but I didn't know that they were plant-based until they introduced the horse and gun. Then that's when they started to, the native people started using the horse, because with a horse, you could just go into a village and rob, steal stuff with a horse. Well, it's very deep. You need to read about it. So my point is that we shouldn't be surprised that this is happening. We've been dealing with this for 500 years, but we have to stop this. So my advice to you would be to learn self-defense. Look into the, what's the name of it? It's called the, what's his name? Fred Hampton's Gun Club. You need to join that, find that. It's online. You can go to Facebook and join and learn how to self-defense, especially the older people, everybody really, older black people, because that's what they want, soft targets like older people, children, women, of course. And so we have to learn how to save ourselves from these people, because they're out of control. They've always been out of control, okay? So, once again, I'm so sorry this happened to our people. My condolences to them, and they will always be in my prayers, and I seek justice for them. And, also going vegan is the minimum we can do. That's not going to solve the whole problem, but that'll be the minimum thing we can do. That's the very least we can do to stop the violence in our stomachs, and to stop killing the animals. But as far as dealing with that Western man the hunter, okay, it's time for the lion to tell a story. We're the lion. We have to set the stage. We have to tell a story. We have to defend ourselves. That's only common sense. You can't deal with somebody like this who's always killing you and doing all kind of horrible things to you, and you're just going to sit up there and pray all the time. No, that's not going to work, y'all. So, total revolution. That would start with organizing various groups. You might have a church, or start revolution. You have to go into organizing your different black organizations, and then the educational part to get together and get politically involved. Now with the Democrats or Republican stuff, you have to start a separate party, independent party, and then make the move. We have to move now, because just because we survived 500 years don't mean we're going to survive the next 500 years, because they have different type of weaponry, all these drones and automatic rifles and all kind of treacherous things they can do to us. So we really have to tap into our self-defense on every front, and stop all this ridiculous bickering back and forth. I know it's hard sometimes, because the pressure of the system is always on us, and we're frustrated, and so we kind of take out our frustrations on each other, which is, the sun is really bright. We take out our frustrations on each other, which is kind of part of the plan, But anyways, I have this little thing I want to read to you. I did a critique off of this article online. I'll read it for you real quick. It says, Meat Eating and Patriarchy, a Vegan Ecofeminist Perspective, is by a man named Alessandro Berardi, Goldsmith University. And I just critiqued it. And, well, actually, the problem is that the 4 leading causes of death in the USA and other developed high-income nations, that's the Western world, the civilized people, is where the humans are. Okay, with the high IQ, we know who those are. High heart disease, colon cancer, diabetes, and obesity. And the author notes that these countries consume enormous amounts of animal flesh, meat. And also the Western society gives the impression of meat eating as a personal choice, but the population is conditioned to consume meat. And meat eating is not a choice, but a compulsory act which forms the foundation and the essence of the patriarchal system, which the patriarchal system is, well, I'll go into that. Yeah, the author defines patriarchy as male supremacy and female inferiority based on violence against the feminine, human, animals, and earth. And you know how they consider us. We was always 3/4 of human, and that's still how they consider us, as animals. So see all the violence towards us. The patriarchal society rests on the platform of meat eating, oppression of women and feminine, and the exploitation of cows, the heifers. Of course, they get the bulls, but they milk the cows 24/7 to get the milk from them. And then the hens, the chickens, hens are all cooped up in those cages on top of each other, and they debeak them and a whole bunch of other atrocities, one on top of each other in cages. And also the degradation of the earth, which I would say would be, a bitch. And that's my little 2 cents. But also it's considered normal. Meat eating is considered normal and mandatory to dominate and control the female body. Female body means the feminine. First, the feminine must be devalued so it can be consumed. In the system of patriarchy, man is deemed the hunter. Man. And we know that's code word for those who are classified as white. Man, Western man the hunter, who becomes the predator of the innocent prey to prove his virility, physical strength, and masculinity, right? Masculinity, because basically he feels inferior because he just feels inferior. He feels inferior because it's so few of them and they're dying out. So, so they have to be violent so they can control and dominate everything. So to justify the mistreatment of women, animals, earth, according to the author, this is accomplished in 3 ways. Objectification, desensitization, and commodification. Ooh, my words here. Sorry. Objectification involves turning women, animals, and earth into a thing to be used to benefit the patriarchal society. For women, it would be pornography. Animals are violated for food, and the earth is raped for resources like gold, diamonds, etc. All the wars is caused because man, the hunter, the one that likes to explore in the boats and stuff to the new world and create genocide and enslavement, that man. When the living is turned into a thing, it's easier to exploit and justify killing. That's why, what's his name? The boy, what's his name? Peyton gendered on his machine gun or rifle, whatever. He had the word nigger in 14. So that justifies, when you turn something into a thing, it's easier to exploit and kill. So that's why they call cows beef or hamburgers, because that turns it into a thing and you don't see actually the living person behind that. So that's why they love to call us niggas and create that word nigger, because it makes them feel empowered and feel like they have dominance and power over life. Okay. And also through media propaganda, humans are desensitized about the violence against women, animals, and earth. This is done ooh, wow. This is done through subliminal messages and propaganda. The desensitization causes high instances of rape for women. Every minute, repeat, every minute, 20,000 animals are murdered for human corpse eating compulsive addiction, and the earth experiences a loss of biodiversity. Tons of pesticide, fertilizer, cow feces seep into rivers, groundwater, and oceans, causing global environmental degradation. For the love of meat eating, said the author. Also, the author noted 50% of the grains go to feeding livestock for hamburgers instead of feeding the world's hungry children. And lastly, patriarchy uses language to cover up or hide the consumption of meat and eat. Or, like they use language like using terms, racial slurs to hide what they're doing to people, to us, so they don't have to think about it. So they'll label you as criminal, nigger, and all kind of derogatory things, so they don't really have to see you as a living person or a being. What is that? Anyways, so it would be more realistic to describe meat eating as corpse eating. And the deception is defined as absent referent. This is when an animal is killed and turned into meat. It's cut up, its body parts are sold, so the living animals disappear. So you call it a hot dog, hamburger, a steak, sirloin. It's a cow. It's a cow. It's a cow. It's a cow. So yeah, the author also notes that patriarchy classify animals as inferior. So that this, if it only applies to you, flesh eaters believe they are superior to nature and animal species. So man the hunter that goes to supermarkets and murder people believe that they are superior to people classified as, well, melanated, because we're so close to nature. We're of nature, very close to nature. Maybe not so much anymore because of being brought over here or being invaded by invaders who that wants to rule and dominate over you and kill you and murder you. So yeah, most feel entitled to consume living creatures without question.